Hey YouTubers, I'm about to do a quick project here. As you can see, the back of this 2011 Nissan Maxima, this light here up on the spoiler is shot. The LEDs, some of them are burnt out, are shorted out, so we're going to tackle this job here and take a video along the way. I'll be doing this with my dog, Abby, and hopefully it will only take about 30 minutes or so, depending on how complex that wiring is. So bought the part online from Spoiler Lights. It's $50 roughly. Got it on eBay. It's 16.5 inches, so make sure you get that right. Measure it. There's a couple kinds that can go on these spoilers, and we'll see how it goes. Stay posted. So the first thing they're going to have to do is take off the cover here. And as you can hear behind me, the crickets in the background, and my neighbor, who never cuts his yard, decided to cut it today. But this is the cover we're going to take off to get at it easier. I want to get an idea of what these wires are going to look like. We're going to tap into this wire eventually that feeds up, taps into the brake light, and then runs up inside. I don't know yet how loose that'll be or what kind of extra we'll have, but that'll be key before I unhook it all. And then as you can see on the bottom of this light, there's 2 screws I have to unscrew. One there, Phillips head, and one over here. And we're going to take that out and go from there. Okay, so I took the piece out here. As you can see, it comes out pretty easily. It's really just those screws and the cap. Now one thing you want to notice is they have a nice finish here for the wire, but it is loose, so I should be able to work this and get a little slack fairly easily. And that's the wire that goes up and through and then back down. I want to try to tap into it up in this area, only so I don't have to deal with moisture. But this job doesn't look too bad. When you do peel that cover off, I worked around this piece. Some take it out, but I was able to kind of stretch it, as you can see there. So far so good. Dog is happy, and ZZ Top in the background. So we're going to keep on moving here. Now this replacement would work on most cars that have this kind of setup. So keep that in mind if you're watching this video and have a different car. But if it has a spoiler like this, this was covered with small caps. I'll show you that in a second. This is the piece you're looking at, and it's pretty hard. It's hard to tell. It's fitted really nice, and initially I was trying to see how to undo it, and they really cover it so you can barely see them when it's on there. So take a good look on your car. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you unscrew the bolts. Not a lot of slack. So, and there's moisture here. This is actually wet. Right here. So my guess is that water got in here and shorted it out, but we'll check that later. But since there isn't much slack, I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably gonna slice it about here and then piece it together, because the wire I have is good and connecting electrical is not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then obviously I don't want to lose that wire because I don't want to feed it back through that thing again. That will be bad. So be back in a second. Okay, so what I decided to do is, that tape is on there so I don't lose the wire, but I was able to get enough. What I'm going to do is attach this and test it before I put it all together. And I'm going to look and maybe put a little silicone around the hole here to prevent the water, wherever that moisture is coming from. So this is what we're looking at. Be back in a minute. So just a quick test. You can see I just did a quick job on the wires. I want to make sure this light's going to work. Light looks good, so it looks like we can cut this wire because I have a lot of extra. I'm going to finish it off here and tuck it back in the hole. I'm not going to take my piece of tape off on there until I'm sure. And then we can wrap the job up. So winding down. Now I put this, it's just sitting in here now, but I've got to take the covers off and put the screws in. I did end up putting a bead of silicone on the top, and then in where the wires went through, straight in the back there, but it looks as good as the other one. And then I'll take one final picture when I'm all done. The final 2 screws that are going in it are right here. Don't ruin the heads on them when you take them out, but if you do, you can probably find a cheap set at Lowe's. It's a tight fit in there with the screwdriver, as you'll see the angle, so use the thin one. And that's the final product when it's complete. Actually, I think it's brighter than the old one. Car's happy, dog's happy, but tired. And it was about, I'd say 30 to 40 minutes tops. The only thing I have to do is put the top back in, but that's a piece of cake. So we're back in business and looking good. Hope you find this helpful.